funny though, like, I was at a funeral and stuff, and I got pulled aside age, but by the time you're like a 20-something, they kind of
You are in that
stress.
route. Don't forget that, like, there are other people outside, like, this is good for you, go ahead. Are doing well,
and I hope you guys enjoyed our last episode featuring life in our 20s and the challenges that we face.
Yes, with that, today we're going to be talking about the aunties.
So it's going to get real spicy, I would say.
Yes,
but educational, so just tune in and stuff. Feel free to share your ideas in the comments. We like engaging with you guys as well, so tune in and then enjoy this episode.
Like, share, comment, subscribe as
for
well.
those people that didn't subscribe.
Yes. Alrighty, so your 20s are loud. I would say.
Of course.
And some of the things that makes it loud is because of the aunties always asking you, so are you in the road of getting married? Are you close to the finishing up? We kind of touched on the last one, but
of
right
course.
now we're gonna be more stressing into why is that such like ongoing conversation? Why hasn't that has stopped, and why is it causing so many stresses in our younger self, especially when it comes to womanhood? And every time you're like reaching that level of like the 20s, you're always asking yourself like, why me? Can I just like mainly focusing on my goals and all of that? So
yeah, for sure. Life in 20s is really difficult. I'm going to stress on that like a lot of times, so I'm sorry if I'm disappointing you in a way. But I guess as a female living in your 20s, especially from different cultures, I think it's a big stressing factor, because maybe you might be stressing about job, like the previous episode that we were talking about, but then there's also this culture pressure that puts in you by the age of like this. By the age of 24, by the age of 25, you need to get married, but then at the same time, you don't have that mentality. Or you might be in a relationship focusing on, like getting the money, trying to save up, and then there's this cultural expectation where family members stress that, hey, when are you going to get married? Hey, like, let me set you up with this person, and you're trying to have that private life.
Yes, and also this is like a very good conversation to bring up, especially like nowadays, is because we're always seeing on social media, especially right now, is as if like there's something in the air, like, are we missing something?
Of
like
course.
Everyone around us is getting married, everyone we know, heard of, and you're just like, okay, like I'm happy for all of them, but like when is it gonna be my turn? And some things that always stand out to me is like, wow, what if we are rushing ourselves into something that we're not ready for? Because of the ideas that we are being presented. And obviously we're gonna like go ahead and talk about, okay, after the wedding, the pressure that we have, even like when it comes to when are you gonna have children and all of that, all of those stressful factors. So so we're gonna be touching on that. This is just an introduction.
Of course.
So why don't we just dive into explaining the culturally effect when it comes to wedding talks, especially at this age. Why do you think this age is kind of like the main reason why everyone is kind of like making you like an echo in the back of your head, like this is something that you need to think?
I guess falling back to the conversation that we had in our previous episode, there's this generational thing that our family members follow. It's good, and it's also not good at the same time, following the stressing factors that it places someone in. We see people that got married at a young age.
Okay.
Your parents might be married at a young age, and they want you to follow that path. And it's a good thing, getting married at a young age. Why not, right? If you're financially stable, if you're like satisfied with whatever life has brought to you. But then at the same time, like there's so many things that you need to consider. So I think one of the main issues is your upbringing. And then I don't like this idea, but I kind of don't want to diss our culture, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to this. There's this age, I don't want to mention the specific age, but by the time you're like a 20 something, they kind of put that stress in you. Oh, you need to get married so you can have kids at a young age, because the later it is, your pregnancy might be
in danger.
Yeah, exactly.
So this perspective of like, even though you're not financially ready, you might want to like, I don't know, like if forcing yourself is a right word in this matter, but rather than like, okay, like whether you're ready or not, like this is something like, it feels like this is something like you must think.
Yeah.
But how many of us do really think maybe marriage is not our thing, and maybe we want to be independent, maybe we're just not in that right mentality? Because I feel like you need to be interested in that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like even if you were interested, because of this conversation, this pressure that you're having in the back of your head, you may not want to continue in this matter.
Oh yeah, for sure. And also I would like to point out how people these days don't want to talk about their relationship, because the reason to why I'm saying that is a person in their 20s might be in a relationship. They don't want to share these moments about their relationship because they don't want to get rushed. You feel me? So with that being said, the more private they are, they also have to suffer through these consequences. Hey, like, when are you going to, get married? Again, going back to what you just said. You know how we were gone from social media, and the moment we came back, we see a bunch of like proposals. We see a bunch of people getting married. We see a bunch of people having kids, and then, like it or not, it puts that like
mentality in you.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh my goodness.
But like, do you even,
am I too late or something, right?
Exactly. And to add on that, like, do you even blame those people that hide their relationship for the family members? Because I feel like they want to merge in and say, oh, like, maybe have you had that talk with your partner yet? Have you did this? Have you done that? And this conversation is not like, it may not seem as like a bad thing. Like, why is it such a big deal if somebody asking how your relationship is? It is like, you shouldn't be ashamed of how that works. But rather than like, what if they are putting this pressure on you in order to rush yourself into something when you're not ready? And it's actually very bad, because like, if you like bringing that topic with your partner and this person is not like
in that mentality, then it puts their relationship
at risk. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, how like these conversation that you're having, you may not consider it as like a problem, but you are causing these kind of unnecessary stress into that person's. Not only that, okay, let's say that person has a relationship. What if this person have tried so many things to have a fruitful relationship with that person, and it hasn't been working out?
Yeah.
And sometimes, it's sad to say this, but they have this mentality, like, not everyone obviously, but like from a conversation that we have and from like our friends, or a lot of things that we are hearing. There's a saying where like, it's not if I'm just gonna like knock on to this person like head and say, oh, this is my it's not easy as it is
of
before.
course.
Before, they might have like this like, okay, they might be put into this set up marriage, like in our culture, this is normal if you are interested in stuff like that. And maybe it didn't work out before, but now there might have been you know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's a it could work out depending on the maturity level at that point. I do believe it could work out. But right now, with a lot of advantages taking, with a lot of negativity, that like, even through like now the media and how like nasty it gets and all of that, it has been like this fear for the people to like go out and just be like
but yeah, for sure. There's this thing about like arranged things. The reason to why I'm saying that is because we have been pretty much exposed to people that have experienced arranged stuff. I'm not talking about arranged marriage, because I haven't encountered anyone, but trying to set you up with someone so that you guys can work out. But at the same time, do these family members or family friends know that you're in a relationship? That's a good question.
Your status, yeah.
And then at the same time, there's also that like pressure where like they're like, oh yeah, I'm kind of talking to, you might be mentioning, oh, I'm talking to someone, and then they force you into that, like, hey, like, it's okay, you can still talk to this person and you can figure it out, and that's not cool. And then at the same time, okay, you might be single too, just trying to chase your dreams with work or like even school wise.
So that's like you're saying, like that's not even in your mentality to even you don't even have time, or you don't even have that ready feeling that you're not ready to just have that type of relationship and
or situationship,
and just because you're like just single does
exactly
it's seen as if like you have to be
and
with someone.
yeah, and of course, and then there's also that not cool thing where like these people, family friends or family members, put this thing where like, okay, they're trying to talk to this person that they're trying to set you up with, and then they might be sending your pictures or phone number and stuff, and then
without your knowledge either,
get
right?
a text and you're like, who the hell is that person, you know?
Without your knowledge is wild.
I know.
Like at least
I know people that
like at least like confirm it with me and see my interest. Like what if I'm like talking to people, like I'm just trying to, sometimes we don't even know ourselves. Let's be real here. You don't even know what you want in life, and there are people even like not even healed from their
past trauma, relationship trauma.
Yes, so they might be in a healing phase, and like imagine you're just like so like you know like losing yourself to the point where you just don't even want to like discuss this kind of matter when it comes to relationship status, or even don't bring this kind of topic to me, and then they just did that without your knowledge. You're gonna go insane. This is not like, this is just like you're kind of like crossing like so many boundaries over here. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
just to like what we trying to point out here is like we're not like specifically saying you're this, you're that, but more of like, can we be wiser over our actions? Sometimes sometimes we think like doing something for a family member or a good friend, like, or like someone that you even see as your child, may not always be that. And
that's where like the idea of like open communication is the key. I know I dislike these topics from the bottom of my heart because hey, like, I'm at the age where like, oh no, I'm not ready to have this conversation just yet. But don't get me wrong, it's a good thing because you know like they're looking out for you out of love, out of care. But then at the same time,
and honestly, to be honest, right there, just to add on is also, not all of these are bad. Yeah, we're just not. Like saying like sometimes
just
you don't
put
even
the pressure. Basically,
let's just see how things go. Let's like open these opportunities and just like let them work out. Like, you know, let them communicate. Not like you mended like, oh, did this person text you? Did this person respond?
Of course.
No.
Don't be too forceful. Basically, you know, like just say, hey, like, hey, B, like I have this person from you, like for you.
Are you interested?
So are you interested?
Yes. That's or no?
Thing. And then you just leave it as it is. Don't be forcing it.
You can't force love. Let's be honest. You cannot force love.
Of course.
Forget about love. You can't even force any type of relationship in your life, you know?
Yeah.
So let's do that. Let's be mindful of that. And with the idea of like at certain age where there is this saying where, oh, by the time like a woman is going to in their 30s, the dangers of pregnancy and all of that, I see where you're coming from. Scientifically, it's proven that. But do you think it is worth risking your mentality when you know you're not ready and I will always say this, and like I believe people can agree to, or like maybe educate me in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
I always say a lot of times people clap for congratulations, like
clap for weddings and stuff
clap for wedding, like celebrate your wedding, and then whatever you deal with that, then it's you and your partner. Whatever mentality crisis you are responsible. And I always say there is a difference between like accepting like people's good wish and like forgetting about yourself. You can't value people's choice for you if you don't value your choice and your heart. You always have to listen to your intentions. I feel like, so why would I waste someone's time, or why would I say yes to something that I know it's not right? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times I feel like, oh, I don't want to make this person sad. I don't want to make this. And then you dive yourself into something you will regret later.
Yeah.
So all we're trying to say here is, don't stop yourself from speaking out of how you feel in that early situation, rather than putting yourself into like prison, like in your own cell, because like, you know, like there's always like a few don't
Mm-hmm.
put yourself into a situation where you would not like allow yourself to be who you are. Yes, so I want to point out this topic because this one I feel like it's like really seen within our culture, and that is the acceptance of our chosen person. For instance, there's a lot of ways where their perspective and our perspective has not matched. For instance, we are you know how like we are the decision makers when it comes, so this is the person I chose to marry, and I want you to accept it whether you like it or not. And the way that they always say, oh, are you fit for my daughter, are you fit for my son, and all of that. And this goes in both ways. We're just mainly focusing on the main focus, which is like the age being like too old to have to carry children, or it's not like likely like something that seen as not normal, you know what I mean? So what are those things? I would say like, oh, is he financially stable, is he like has a good career, is he like, you know, physically, I don't know, like there's just like a lot of criteria. These are just an example I'm just pointing out. So with that, I would say this is also another factor that's like making it so challenging in order to find our partner at this young age, because they're just like a lot of like stress in your head, like if I bring this into like presenting it to my family, are they going to be accepted? How can I make him welcome into my home when I know their criteria?
Of course.
So how would you like, let's talk about it basically.
Of course, yeah. I'm going to be mainly talking about a race.
Oh.
Because the reason why I'm saying race is because we're like black, we're like Ethiopian and stuff. Majority of parents want to, you know, like want you to be married to like Habesha dude at the end of the day, right? Vice versa too. So when it comes to like foreigners, they're not that willing. They're not willing to be happy about it if you're even like presenting that idea. They would prefer 100% Habesha, and that's it. A person of, you know, faith too, which is a very good thing. But that idea, like, because that idea is tricky, because sometimes, you know how like you can jokingly like present the idea of like, hey, like I have this person with your parents, like oh, like yeah, he's my friend and stuff, so yeah, we might get married. And then like there's that like sense of like judgment, hey, like what do you mean? Like, I think they I think they just kind of think like you're not being understood because you're not from the same cultural background. But I feel like if a person truly values you, accepts you for who you are, it's not hard to understand you. It's not. It's all about educating them. And yeah, we see a bunch of people are actually like that are actually getting married.
They call it what interracial marriage, and I see beautiful couple that honestly like is willing to learn our language,
of course,
willing to learn our religion, willing to learn everything about it. It's all about that person values you, respects you, and all of that.
Which we're very glad about, but there's still, I feel like there's still that like minor issue that needs to be fixed. The negativity to accept.
Yes. For those that like really accept, like they say, oh, my daughter and my son,
as long as they're happy.
Yeah, they're happy. I'm not the one that's marrying them. As long as you are happy about
and
it,
if you believe in it, then.
But we're mainly, that is no problem. We're mainly talking about like those people that always have something negative to say and always like kind of limiting their children from allowing them to kind of say, oh really, like oh you really don't want to like go to this. So I think we should be open-minded, and we should. I believe love is love, whether you're white, black, anything. Yeah. I don't believe race has anything to do with it. As long as a person know how to treat you and respect you, that should be
what matters.
You know what I mean? And so moving on with that, these are also one of the problems I feel like, and we should just be open-minded and accept what our children wants, and not interfere with their life, because it is up to them to make the decision. And you, meaning the person that's doing that, have the responsibility to make it known, this is my life and I'm the one that's driving the boat, and you have no reason, but you have no other choice but to ride into my bus.
Of course.
If not, then it is my life.
Yeah.
So with that, what another topic I want to move into with our sub point is that when we talk about marriage, there are like some steps that you need to take, and one of the
Of
things that
course.
we mentioned earlier was financially stable. Are you financially stable? But
Mhm.
before that, I feel like the main thing that we need to really work on ourselves is, are we mentally ready?
Mhm.
And mentally, I mean, are
Mhm.
we healed from our past? Are we ready for accepting this person?
Mhm.
Are we, uh, have we worked on ourselves
Mhm.
before we invite another person in our life? And
Mhm.
when I mean ready, like, you have a background in psychology and all of that, so I really want to know your insight into this, and I will
Yeah.
add on.
Mhm. Again, yeah, that's a good point that you just raised. In terms of relationship, in terms of marriage too, you need to be emotionally ready.
Mm.
When it comes to marriage itself, it's a big dedication here. It's not like it's not there's not hard word that's coming to my mind. At the end of the day, so you need to be like well educated, and that's where like I love the idea of our religion. Before getting married, you have to take some courses so that you can like have that mature mindset before jumping into the marriage, you know. So again, with being ready mentally, I feel like financial freedom is also another case. um and then at the same time, not that I really want to point it out because we argue about it a lot. um culture culturally speaking, um I feel like, you know, if you're a woman, you should be woman of the house. Like,
Oh, like,
you're
being
the
able to.
nurturer is what I'm trying to say. So like cooking wise and stuff, it's like all love, you know, like you're doing it out of love. So like you also need to consider that, because for example, I might be raised in a way of like, okay, just focus on your school, you don't have to like cook anything or learn how to like, not necessarily cleaning is like very easy, but at least you should know the basic steps before like not jumping, before actually getting married. Because hey, like if I'm the person that does the house chores and stuff, I would also want to apply it to my kids. I also want to apply it to my husband too, so that we can have that like type of connection. um but yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the cooking wise is like they seen as like, you must know how to cook, you must know how to raise a family and all of that. That's also
It's a good thing.
That's an important factor, but
Yeah.
it shouldn't be like the main like top 5 thing. I should That's just an extra, like a bonus. I would say that's a bonus in my book. For others it might be not, you know.
Yeah.
It all depends on this, but the main thing that we really need to focus here is, if your mental is at crisis, you cannot be emotionally understanding. You need to have an emotional, what's it called? There is a word where, are you emotionally stable? Are you emotionally ready to be able to understand another behavior than you are? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So this is where like mentality check comes in. You cannot accept to different thing, or like you cannot like challenge yourself into learning new things, doing accepting new challenging behaviors, if you are always reflecting back in your past. So that's why you really need to observe yourself, learn where you stand in, and prepare yourself.
Of course. Honestly, yeah, aside from, you know, asking yourself, am I financially stable? Am I healed from my past trauma in terms of relationship? Or, you know, like, in terms of a relationship, because you would be in a relationship to go to marriage. There's also that question, I would say, that you need to ask yourself. For example, these external factors might put that, you know, like, I don't know, like, stress onto your head, and then you're just stuck at this age, and then you're like, should I get married, and just to make them happy? But you also need to check on yourself, meaning you might have a plan in terms of your education. Oh, you good?
Dang. All right, this topic must be serious. All right.
So
exactly.
That's not, maybe you're the type of person that's not only like focusing on your bachelor's degree, you want to get your master's, or even if God's will, you want to also want to get your PhD and stuff. And I'm talking specifically for those external factors that people do have planned in terms of their studies. So because of that, you also need to be mindful over the topics that you bring to these like young adults.
Excuse me. I'm having this cold, guys. Sorry.
So you need to be very mindful, and you as a person or you as an individual need to check in, like, hey, like, am I also like focusing on what I had planned for my future? Am I fulfilling that dream, or am I just pausing that now just so that I can make other people happy? Because again, at the end of the day, these external factors and whatever decision that you might be making might somehow impact you in a future cause too. You don't want to be like repeating the same history again when you have kids too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why should you risk your happiness? Why should you shut down your inner like thoughts, or like your inner like I don't know if it's instincts or like basically, why should you shut down the voices inside your head telling you, okay, maybe I shouldn't done that, I shouldn't do this. So don't live in hesitation, but rather like allow yourself to speak up and speak clearly with your partner. And I feel like this kind of topic should be handled between you and your partner. And I feel like if you and your partner are able to be in a good terms and in the same page, I feel like you can be able to handle the outside external factors. But this only happens if you are mentally ready for that. You know what I mean?
You good?
Oh my god. I don't know why I'm coughing like this, but anyways.
Or have some water.
Anyways, before I lose my train of thought, going back to what I was saying. So that's why it's very important to really like mentally to be strong, because there are a lot of things that can like make you overthink, even on the early stage of that, whether this is for you or not. And if you are ignoring these kind of behaviors at an early stage, and you are allowing these rushing, for instance, like all of this like outside like factors like kind of pushing you in order to take that route, and you are in that route, don't forget that, oh, like there are other people outside like, oh, this is good for you, go ahead. But once you're in that fire, you are in that
you're
person.
all by yourself. Yeah,
you have no one. You made that decision. Nobody forced you to make that decision, so you did that, right? So are you gonna be happy? Are you gonna be able to handle other things too? If you're just like moving into this like rushy world, why? For what sake? And why would you like choose that like path because you want to make other people happy? All of this because you're like kind of say, oh, maybe this is for me, maybe this is not for me. And marriage is not something you just go in and out. It's a lot of commitment, and because of the commitment and how hard it is, like a lot of people like are afraid of it. I don't think you should be afraid of it. You just need to work on yourself, prepare yourself for that before you end that. And within this topic, I feel like this is where like also another rushing thing. Okay, let's say you are in a marriage, in a happy marriage, and everything is starting working out. There's that another thing. I was like, oh, but you're reaching, like, let's say you'll get married like early age, like 22 or something. I was like, oh, that's good. Okay, maybe what's going on? Like, when are you gonna make us a grandparents, or when are you gonna make us an auntie and all of that?
It's a big stress. I know people that have gone through such a thing, and it's just a traumatic experience, because it literally messes up with your head at the end of the day. Everything adds to stress. And then I know some people that had not physical disabilities, but more so like not being able to have bear a child. And people need, at the end of the day, people need to be wise over the words that they're presenting to either people that are like single, relationship, marriage, because it can hunt them down and put the stress on them too. And it's not cool, honestly speaking. Yes, like having a baby is just like a very good blessing, because you can also see yourself growing as the most, I don't know, beautiful parent out there. But at the same time, this idea of like rushing people is not a good choice, because again, like, okay, you're married, who knows, you want to also come back to school and like chase your dreams too, and be a doctor or engineer or whatever plan that you have in mind. So people need to be considered, like these external factors need to be consider it too at the same time. And just so that before like we close this topic, I just want to mention something that's just uh, very funny. It's just insane because I think our culture is like, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, or don't get us wrong when we're just saying like our culture, because technically like we were born back home, we came to this Western
we don't forget where we come from.
Yeah.
We just,
and then you just tend to like look at it from both perspectives, and sometimes it's good to point out the wrongs, right? But that being said, it's just insane how like by the age you're in, like by the time you're in your like 20s, there's this unnecessary conversations where you don't want to hear this marriage topic, or let me set you up with this person, and you're just minding your business. And it's just crazy because I had to deal with that at a funeral.
oh my god. Wait a minute.
You need a drink, sister.
No, for real. Wait,
but,
excuse us.
No, seriously though, like I was at a funeral and stuff, and I got pulled aside. Or cool, just pause. You good?
Yeah, no. Keep it. It's actually it's okay. We're
but
actually.
Yeah, like
good,
I got pulled aside, and then I was presented the idea of, hey, like I have someone for you and stuff, and you know, like it was just more so like, I have a person for you. It was a traumatic experience because I'm trying to live life, you know, like not like live life into like, hey, like let me party or something. No, it's not like that. I just want to focus on my career. I want to focus on my job too. So this one was more so like I got pulled to the side, and then, hey, like I have this person for you and stuff. He's a good person, and that's it. And consistently, the conversation was an hour long with the person that suggested it.
Wow.
And it was kind of like unnecessary. So I guess at the end of the day, like,
I just can never.
You need to chill.
That too, and I also feel like. When is it gonna stop? Like, how many lives does it has to ruin for you to stop? Like, this is not something you should always encourage. And I feel like, as someone that is an adult, and it's very sad to say, and these kind of conversations come from someone that's already in marriage. So knowing the difficulty of what it is like to be able to understand someone that is different from you, accept their wrongs, accept their like something that they need to work on, and how can you expect or even add this type of internal force, I would say, for that younger version of that person to tell you, oh, maybe you need to start preparing yourself into this kind of life path. Because would you handle it if you were in my age? Where's that like mutual like self-reflection of saying, I wish I had a guidance for someone like that tells me I should have worked on myself. Do you know how many, like, do your research. Do you know how many people have actually regret, oh, maybe I should have focused on my school. If I were to focus on my school, I would have something of my name.
Of course.
And as a woman, I feel like that is very important to have something in your name rather than like saying, oh, this person is this person's wife. Or it's a very blessing, obviously. But I feel like you need to have that like leadership, because you are gonna be a mother one day. Your children are gonna look up to you like, wow, my mom was such a she focused on her school. She was like in STEM or like whatever the career choice that you have. So be the proud parent that you want to have for your children, and be the example for your children. And these only happen if you choose the path that you would also wish your children to take the path. So before we put those stresses into these younger like adults, let's take a step back and say, would I want this for my life? Would I want this kind of external factor to be added on at this thing? Because we are just at an age where we're discovering ourselves. We don't even know what we want. One day you're interested in this thing, another day said plan B.
Yeah, of course.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are like at this fire age where these are the energy that you need to work on improving yourself. Go achieve your goals. Go take the risk. Go do everything. And I'm not saying shut this kind of matter. I'm not saying that. But use your time wisely so that way you don't live in regrets. So that way you are mature enough to make these kind of lifetime decisions. Because if you don't do that, would you like to be in a marriage to just call it off the next day?
No. Yeah. So with that all being said, my last point over here would be for people just to be mindful, because the idea of marriage, the idea of suggesting people is a good thing, don't get me wrong. But then at the same time, we don't want people to deal with stress. Again, we mentioned it in our last topic about how being not financially, not being settled on education wise, because we're at the generation where we're trying to figure things out, and it's not an easy time we're living in this 21st century. And you just suggesting this, hey, like, get married, hey, let me present you this person, might add a big factor on someone's mental health. I'm not even joking. And again, going back to what we were just speaking about, a person might be in a relationship, maybe that person didn't have like a fruitful relationship, and they're not healed from their past trauma. There might be people that were abused, there might be people that had severe trauma from like this toxic relationship. So with the idea of you suggesting, I'm talking about, when I say like I'm talking specifically about these external factors. You don't know what a person have been through. So with that being said, just don't rush people into such a thing, because at the end of the day, this person that was abused, this person that had, I don't want to say this, maybe they got raped or have been through a toxic relationship or something even worse than that. So with you just like, mentioning these topics, it might lead them to the idea of suicide. So by the end of the day, I just want to leave this idea on the back of everyone's head. Let's just be mindful of the things that we say. Be kind to people. And
also, let's just accept people's choices, please.
Yeah.
And because it's not your life.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just allow them to lead their life.
Yeah.
It's okay to give advices. It's okay to point out what they need to work on and all of that, but don't continue to live their life.
And have like an open mindset. So with that being said, this is Life's Journey, everyone.